I hate Johnny. Johnny was the absolute worst human being that I ever knew as a third grader. You're probably wondering, who's Johnny? Great question. Besides being the worst, he was my first friend I made when I moved from California to Arizona in third grade. To put it plainly, I was a social outcast going into third grade, moving to a new state. Back in California in the early 2000s, yeah, I get it, I'm old. Kids my age, we rocked frosted tips, puka shell necklaces, and Hawaiian shirts. Now, I get that that's cool now, but back in like 2001, not cool anymore. Basically, I wanted to be Aaron Carter, and you don't know who he is, and that's fine, but he's like the 90s version of Justin Bieber. Bro had some bangers. So on my first day of school in Arizona, what do you think I was wearing? Yeah, frosted tips, puka shell necklace, and a Hawaiian shirt. And I quickly realized that I was the new dweeb on the block, and your boy did not have any friends. Well, this is where Johnny comes into the picture. He sat next to me in class, and well, to be honest, he was another dweeb. We both quickly surveyed the social ladder in our third grade class, and we realized our only chance of having a friend, yeah, that was gonna be each other. So we became friends. Let me rephrase that. We became forced friends. And it was fine. It was whatever. Like, we played football at recess, and we went over to each other's house and occasionally played like video games, and like, it was fine. It was fine. He wasn't a good hang, but at least it was something, right? Well, about a month into the new school year, Johnny invited me over to play Madden NFL 2001 on the PlayStation 1. I am dating myself right here. I'm old. I said yes, and I went over, and well, this was the last time I ever said yes to hanging out with Johnny. I have no idea what got into this dude, but as I'm trying to light him up on the sticks playing Madden, all he wanted to do was fight me. And by fight, I mean like literally bare knuckle fists to face fight club fight. It was aggressive and I was scared. At first, I thought he was joking. He placed his controller down and he put his fists up and he was kind of like, egging me on to fight him. I laughed it off. Oh, Johnny. But then he kept doing it. And then he gave me a little subtle jab to the arm. And then it escalated to a kidney punch. And before I knew it, I was defending for my life as if I was in a boxing ring from blows to the face from Johnny's fists. The dude was out of control. So I did what any other third grader would do. I called my mom and I got out of there. For the next couple weeks, Johnny kept inviting me over, but what do you think I said? Yeah, no, I want to have my kidneys. He apologized and he tried to be my friend again, but truly, I didn't want to be around this dude. I did not want to be his friend. Johnny said he was my friend, but he didn't treat me like one. Why would I accept his invitation to be my friend again?
Actions speak louder than words. You've heard it said 1,000 times, and you may conceptually believe that. Like, Jake, of course it does. Your actions matter way more than your words. Everybody knows that. But I wonder if in the actual real world, we try to convince ourselves that the right words are all that really matter. Like, if we could just make the exact right argument, if we could just offer the perfect invitation, if we could land the perfect joke, we could get anybody to do anything. We'd win them over. As someone who personally talks to people for a living, I would love if that were the case. Are you kidding me? I'd love if the opposite were true. I'd love if my words meant way more than my actions. Then this message I'm speaking right now would instantly change all of your lives. Every student at every CCV campus across the valley would walk out of these doors every week and be perfectly and radically sold out to Jesus. How cool would that be? Alas, it's just not the case. If the simple act of inviting someone with your words was good enough to make them do a 180-degree turn away from their personal pursuit of self to a lifelong journey under the authority of Jesus, there wouldn't be one person on this planet who wasn't pursuing Jesus right this second. But we know that's not the case. And the reality is, Jesus knew this too, which is crazy for me to think about. The Savior of the entire world realized that words were never going to be good enough. In the book of John, Jesus is talking to his disciples. And at this point, it's important to know that Jesus is omniscient, which means he knows everything. So he knows that Judas, one of his disciples, in just a few short weeks is going to betray him. He's going to sell Jesus out for some money. So I think it's wild that Jesus, knowing all this is about to happen, says this: love one another. As I have loved you, so you must love one another. By this, everyone will know that you are my disciples, if you love one another. What Jesus doesn't say is they will know you're my disciples simply because you say you're my disciple. That would be too easy. Judas said he was a disciple. He showed up on Saturday nights. He rocked the Jesus merch. But Jesus knows all too well that those words will ring hollow in a few days when his actions betray his words. If you want your invitations to land, you better be doing the hard work of actually showing love. When you invite someone to church, does your life exude radical love? Would they look at your life and notice that Jesus is a part of it? Or like Johnny, does the way you treat people ruin your chance to ever impact them? When they look at you, do they just see someone whose actions don't even align with the love that you talk about? Let's live lives aligned with the wisdom of Jesus. Love one another as I have loved you. So you must love one another. By this, everyone will know that you are my disciples, if you love one another.
So, how's it going with that invitation? The person you've invited is coming with you to Night Zero? Heck yeah, that's awesome, and I can't wait for them to be here with us. Or maybe you're not sure yet if that person you've invited is gonna join you. Great job putting yourself out there and asking anyway. Either way, I think this could be a moment for us to stop and look at ourselves to ask these questions. Does my life scream Jesus? Do I really care about this person I'm inviting? Am I being a good friend to them? Would someone look at my life and say, yeah, that person is different. That person treats people how Jesus would. If you can say yes to all of these things, just be patient and trust in God's timing. The bottom line is, your invitation means nothing if you are not representing Jesus with your life. Students, here's our hope for you. Whether this person has accepted your invitation or not, we hope that you are still being Jesus with your actions and the way you treat people. We also hope that you can intentionally keep this person in your prayers, because we've learned throughout this series that this invitation isn't just a one and done, check it off your checklist type thing. I want to encourage you with this. This challenge to invite your friends doesn't stop when this series is over. It isn't limited to Night Zero or to dodgeball or shaving cream event that we have here in Students. This is a daily decision you make and how we are obedient to Jesus when he tells us to go and make disciples of all nations. We are so proud of you all for facing your fears, being bold, and being Jesus to your friends. See you at Night Zero.